channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackle. Hey, I'm getting a shirt.
As you would. Very good.
Isn't that nice? I like that one.
Yes. Very
Wear that
Princess
one out and
Bride
make
of
people
you.
think. Sometimes they got to stop and
Yes.
remember the important stuff. But speaking of important stuff, I have a question for you today.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, do you know what As You Wish is from?
Yeah, I just said Princess Bride.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you.
Now who's not listening or paying attention?
Well, you spoke softly. You were quiet. You mumbled.
First of all, I can't
Strike
speak
one.
softly because my hearing is bad.
No,
so I
your
speak
hearing
way
is
too
bad.
loud.
Yes. You don't come crying to me about
my
bad
hearing.
hearing.
Is just,
Seriously. I've got 150,000 times the concerts under my belt you do, and you're yelling at me about hearing? Listen, Susie, grow up, man up, sack up. All right. So, as we were watching TV over the weekend, which I don't watch a lot of network TV anymore. I don't think a lot of people do. But
not as much as they did.
Times change, right? We move on to different ways of media consumption. And the networks have really answered back with our change because they give us nothing but crap for the most part on network television. And I saw a promo for the new season of a show coming back up, and my instant thought was, how much longer can the idea of The Bachelor really play out on TV, beating this absolute idiocy of a show over the head? Am I wrong in the thought that a whore parade trying to get one guy is really kind of beneath us?
No, first of all, you are wrong in thinking it's beneath us because nothing is beneath us anymore. There is no bottom of the barrel, and it's cheap programming. It's like game shows. You don't have to pay these people shit.
Isn't it something?
So, and it's easy. It's so easy. Everything's a contest. Everything is, and then you got The Bachelorette, which and a bunch of dudes doing it, which is kind of,
think about that.
I don't know.
The Bachelorette. In other contexts, you know what that's called? A gangbang.
Prostitution. Or yeah.
That's disgusting. I mean, I've never watched, and I don't care, but the idea seems to be a bunch of women duking it out, or so to speak, to attract a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they all live on an island.
That makes, honestly, in fairness, that makes more sense than The Bachelorette because that's more how society works, really, or how it always hit. Where it's one of the reasons men's friendships in general are stronger than female friendships. I've talked to women about this, and most women, not all, would probably, but I think most agree. And a part of it, I think, is the either subconscious or conscious competition that they feel with each other.
See,
and I think men have that, and men are I think more competitive in general, but I don't know that we're as competitive in that way. Although I could be completely wrong.
I don't know because
thing.
I feel that women are closer as friends than men can ever dream of being. You and I are close as friends, and that's good. But in my wheelhouse of people I look around and consider friends, I don't really have anybody I go hang out with. I don't know how to socially interact in a small group. I don't have what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have a buddy I just call up and go, hey, let's go do this. I mean, there's none of that, right? With the women around me, they all seem to have their hen parties and different things that they like to do. So to me, the perspective is that women tend to make and sustain friendships better than men.
Well, there's a possibility you're right. I will say this. I think female relationships with each other, and maybe one of the reasons I say they're not as close is because they require a lot more maintenance. It's almost like a relation. It's similar to a relationship a woman is going to have with a man is a woman's relationship with a best friend, because they're very, you have to, like, guys, like some of my best friends in the world, I rarely see.
Right.
Like, but we will pick up right where we left off.
Yeah.
Like there's people like I won't talk to. My best friend, a couple of my best friends from high school, like I won't see in person for 9 months. We will occasionally text every other month or every few weeks or something, but it doesn't require the same amount of maybe
Yeah,
emotional
okay.
maintenance that female relationships go. And you could make the argument that maybe women's relationships with each other are closer because they have to maintain that constant
Yeah, I don't know.
contact.
But
So I don't,
this
it's
idea
interesting.
of 30 women in a house competing for a guy. Ugh.
Mm. Well, here's it. Like those women can't be those women can never hang out with each other in a regular like the guys who are all competing for the woman. They all could get together and just hang out and trade stories and kind of
Right.
laugh, and they're not going to be is maybe emotionally.
Yeah, maybe not.
It may not be as much of an emotional issue with them as it's going to be with the women.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I could again.
I
That's
literally rolled my eyes and I'm like, still. And you know what?
yeah,
I even have a
and
cousin that was
they
on the
will do
show.
this forever.
I have a cousin
They
that
will
was
do
on the show.
really.
Yeah, she was part of the bridal party for one of the brides.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It just ugh,
What did she say that was live? Like, what was the?
I don't know.
Did she get have
She
some?
was in the wedding, and that
Okay.
I didn't even think I've seen her since she was on it.
Oh
She lives in
wow.
New York. I mean,
Okay.
she's one of those cousins that just decided to hell with this and took off to have a life. You know?
Right. Yeah. Some people have to venture out. I mean, I
Yeah.
ventured out for a time. Everybody does that, and then you get to feel like you think you're not from the part of the country that you're from.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to go live on the West Coast, or I want to go live in New York, or I want to
Yeah.
go live in the South, wherever. And a lot of the times you do it becomes cliche, but everything you were looking for, you had all along.
No.
And
Well,
that's what I realized. I said,
her
I had
office
everything
was
I
in the
really wanted.
Empire State Building for the longest time. I
Yep.
don't know if she's still doing that job or not, but you get
Oh,
the
that's
idea
nice.
of she
Hmm.
started off. She got out of school.
That's next level.
Her first job was in Minneapolis, so I think she got a taste
Okay.
of big city life, and then from there on
Hmm.
up, it was
Right.
totally that
That's it.
life. I mean, good
And
for
that's
her.
just, yeah, that's fine. That's some
Yeah,
people are just more wired for that
yeah,
lifestyle,
I
and that's
agree.
good for them.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you on The Bachelor at some point soon. Can't wait.
Yes. Now, at this point, it would be the what is
The
it? They
Golden
do like the
Bachelor.
the Golden Bachelor, which I'm still a decade away. I think you got to be like 60 or something now, but but no, I would never. Although you
Everybody,
never say never
everybody's
based
grandma
on
on TV fighting over a guy. The Golden Bachelor.
how much check. Yeah, how much? I don't know how much that's worth fiscally. I mean, they say everybody has their price. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Efforts to fight global corruption are failing. This, according to Transparency International, which compiles the annual Corruption Perception Index, whatever the hell that is. They claim there's been a global decline in justice and rule of law since 2016. 23 countries are at their worst level in almost 3 decades. That includes high ranking democracies and authoritarian states, basically. Yeah. And I'm of dueling thoughts on this because I'm very pro breaking the rules that I think are dumb. I don't think that necessarily means you're more corrupt because you're breaking a rule. To me, it depends on what the rule is.
Right.
But see, I don't. I think there's probably some truth to it too. We're maybe not as just as we think we are, but I think individually we're probably better, but I think collectively we're probably worse, if that makes any sense.
Mob thing.
So,
You know, if you get a thought into a group of people's heads and it continues to perpetuate, the wrong thought can go a long way.
group, yeah, I've always said this group thinking, it doesn't matter what the thought is. And it can start with a good impulse or a good idea, but once you get everybody thinking the exact same way, and then you get into your own little box, and you don't want to hear any other information, and that becomes something else to you.
Next thing you know, you're taking a pill and waiting for a comet to come by and drinking.
Yeah.
So it's scary stuff.
That's what else is going on. Hey, McDonald's is bringing back the Hamburglar. The fast food behemoth is returning the mascot to showcase their updated burgers. The new sandwiches will reportedly feature softer buns, more sauce, and cooked onions.
Ooh,
I didn't realize they weren't cooking their onions before.
I
Yeah.
I would honestly bet it's been 15 years or more since I've had a McDonald's burger. So
Oh, you're
I
not missing much.
I can do a breakfast sandwich occasionally,
Mhm.
but that's it for me and McDonald's.
A
And
quarter
nothing against
the quarter
McDonald's. If people
pounders,
like it, eat
no,
it. It's good for kids.
no.
Well,
Well, it's not go okay, first of
uh,
all, it's not good for kids.
I will
None of
say
that's good for
sorry,
kids.
sorry. It's it's passable for kids who want something
Mhm.
to eat.
Yeah,
Um,
if you're in a rush, it's the problem is this stuff's just too easy.
yeah,
And it's,
and it ain't
it's all
cheap either
essentially
anymore.
no. It's all essentially poison, but it's going to kill you slowly.
And I will
So,
say this too. Not only is McDonald's bringing back the Hamburglar, they're bringing back Grimace, and the good news is it's just they're going to paint me purple and send me out without
oh,
a shirt
geez.
on. Won't that be fun?
Oh, I think you would make a good Grimace.
I would be a great Grimace.
You could sell those,
I'll make
Actually, I
an
was thinking
appearance
if it
at the
was,
McDonald's, and kids will be like, Grimace, what are all those marks on your stomach? Well, Grimace has been away for a while. I
yeah.
got shanked in jail, so let
It's
me tell you
actually the
about the life of
Hamburglar.
Grimace.
The Hamburglar did it.
That's
So
right. This is what happens when you
finally,
challenge Mayor McCheese.
uh-huh.
You get shanked.
Final. It's the big game at the Breslin Center. Sort of floundering Michigan takes on mediocre Michigan State in East Lansing. Sparty comes in 12-8, 4-5 in the Big Ten. They're in ninth place in the Big Ten. Michigan in dead last, 14, 7-13, 2-7. This game is on Peacock. I'm not watching it because I don't have Peacock, and I don't really. This is the first time, and Michigan State will probably get into the tournament, and then I'll really kind of engage more come March. But this has kind of been, especially for Michigan, a forgettable season. But nobody in Ann Arbor cares because you're riding the crest of the national championship in football, so you can deal with a horrible basketball team when when you're the kings of college football at this point. So
Let me remind you,
uh,
it may be a little tough on the basketball court, but up there on the moon,
okay,
lots of astronaut autographs from the U of M.
of course, because that's what people care about. Moon rocks and people riding to the moon.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Uh,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, everybody's an astronaut now. You
No,
can take flights and be considered
not
an
everybody's
astronaut.
an
Yeah, you are. If you go into space, you're an astronaut.
Well, yeah, but
Doesn't matter if you're just
how you get into
riding.
space.
Buy a ticket now.
No,
You get up into space. You get to go
No.
zero gravity. Yeah, once you get into zero
no,
gravity,
you have to.
you're an
No,
astronaut.
no, you.
No.
So, oh, wait a minute. Wait a
Okay.
minute.
Educate me as I water down my 5-hour energy.
Of course, water down
You
your
educate
5
me.
That's frugal right there. Dave waters down
Exactly.
5-hour energy shot.
This is how you make $3.99 last.
Astronauts are defined by people who have left the stratosphere. Neil Armstrong was technically an astronaut on his X-15 flight because he did break the atmosphere and have a hard time getting back through it. We almost lost Neil Armstrong before he got to a rocket because he had a hard time getting back into the atmosphere, and he finally found a way to carve that plane down in and make his way back to Earth. So weightless on a parabolic flight does not make you an
So that
astronaut.
doesn't count?
No.
Are you sure?
I am 100%
You're
sure, and if you
100%.
want to put money on it, I will.
I know. I wouldn't. Hey,
I'll
I
go
stay
big.
in my lane when it comes to the space program.
I'll do a house
You
payment
stay-
with you.
You stay in the lane when it comes to football. I'll stay in the
Okay.
lane when it comes to the space
Fair enough.
program. There we go. Ottawa takes on Detroit in hockey. The Pistons still riding the crest of that one-game winning streak. They're off again tonight. That's sports.
This question sucks, and it's worth $600, and it's going to be another freebie for Dave, which is exciting for you because that'll leave you with an up with people kind of feel. And, as
I'm
my shirt
always up with
says,
people.
and we
As
all
you
know what
wish,
that
yeah.
means. All right, good.
Mhm.
In 1939, excuse me, I didn't give you the category. Are you ready for the category?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. We've had problems over this for the last couple of weeks, so I want to make sure you're astute and ready
Mhm.
and not thinking about being on The Bachelor. In 1939, this Pasadena event had child star Shirley Temple as its 50th anniversary Grand Marshal. She did the honors again in 1989.
1939.
1939.
This is not an easy question.
This
I'm
is a
gonna go
very
with
easy question.
Is it the World's Fair?
Wow. Are you
I
playing
got it
dumb
wrong,
just to
didn't I?
make me look like a
No, I don't know what to know.
seriously? Pasadena event.
Oh, Pasadena event, the Rose Parade.
Oh, but you answered the wrong
I
way.
answered
So
wrong. I
forty-eight
said
thousand
you
six
said
hundred.
Pasadena. You know what? I didn't hear Pasadena event for some reason,
Well,
or you
see, that's
said it and it didn't. You know what I fixated on?
You
I
fixated on
fixated
what?
on 1939,
That's what you did
and I'm not
wrong.
even sure the World's Fair. Was there a World's Fair in '39? I was thinking in my head. I was
Yeah,
thinking
World's Fair was
Wizard
still
of
going on then.
Oz.
Yeah.
I was thinking Wizard of Oz or the World's Fair, and I kind of was like, oh, it's one of those two things, and I didn't even.
Have you ever seen a documentary of what the World's Fairs were like back in the day?
No, but I think that would be interesting.
Go look up one of the St. Louis World's Fair. Unfreaking believable what those things were. They were mind-boggling as to the size and scope of an event.
Mm-hmm.
There's your homework for the day.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
I bet you.
After I make after I make some countertops later.
Make some countertops and watch some Golden Girls, and then maybe broaden your.
No, man, I gotta go do some workouts.
Have yourself a great Tuesday.
See ya.
Happy Tuesday, Muskegon. A brief wintry mix will move through early in the morning hours, so let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Like I said, a brief wintry mix will swing through early Tuesday morning, about from 2 to 5 a.m. Then after that, we're pretty much dry for the next several days, and we will even see some sunshine at times this week. We'll stay dry and mild with temperatures around 40 for the next several days. So here's what the future radar looks like at 3 a.m. You can see that band of wintry mix swinging through West Michigan. I think most of it will be snow here in Muskegon, as temperatures will be just cold enough, but we're really not expecting a whole lot of snow accumulation out of that. It would be a dusting if that. Roads should just be wet. So for your Tuesday, expect a wintry mix early in the morning, but by 7 a.m. will likely be dry throughout the day. It's not impossible. A brief drizzle or snow will swing through the region, but I think most, if not all of the day, will just be dry and cloudy with a high of 40, and then overnight will cool down to 33. Then over the next several days, it looks pretty dry and uneventful, especially for this time of year, with temperatures on either side of 40, but mostly in the lower 40s, with even some sunshine, especially by this weekend. And that's your Tuesday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon Channel, and I'm Cole Woods Weather, and have a great day today.